Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Wednesday night. Back in action, the Modified Madness Tour rolls into New Hampshire as the season begins to wind down in the last 5 races of their Modified Madness Tour season. We're going to go to the playing of the National Anthem when we come back. It's going to be some heavy oval racing coming at you here tonight from these heavy cars with the open wheels. So don't go anywhere, folks. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, covering tonight's race, the Modified Madness Tour, in action here at New Hampshire for 150 laps. Race number 14 out of the 18-race season. And these boys are ready to go after a hard-fought battle last week. A couple of drivers known to make it to victory lane. Seth the Merchant, with a late race battle with Christian Peterson, comes away victorious last week at Thompson. And Tanner Cook, the bounty continues there for Tanner Cook in the light modifieds, as he was able to come away with a victory as well. So there will be a bounty on the six-man Inc. if Seth the Merchant now or Christian Peterson wins here tonight. You can expect that bounty to roll on. I believe it's up to $40 in iRacing credits these guys are hunting for in the tours. And Tanner Cook in the lights still continues his bounty, as though he missed the first four races of the season. He has come back with a vengeance and been on fire ever since. Looking at tonight's race information on the screen here at New Hampshire and Loudon, this mile track's going to be a big one. Expect to see a lot of passing on the straightaways from the Tour Modifieds. When they got to swim around these light modifieds, that's where it's going to be. Air temperature here tonight, 85 degrees, 29% humidity. Clear skies, but take a look at that track temperature this evening, 112. Wow. It's going to be a slick track on these turns. We'll have to see how these drivers will be able to handle it. About a minute remaining here in practice. Qualifications have been completed. We'll get the grid to you here in a second. Talking a little bit about tonight as far as the overall standings in the series. In the modified light division, Benny Ellison still looking to be out there out front. Got about a 28-point lead over Scott Naslin. Tanner Cook is back in fourth behind Jody Green. Jody Green was really solid competing in this series, but due to his work schedule, has not been able to field a lot of races since. So he's pretty much fallen back to third. Tanner Cook's on his way up to third position, moving up 2 positions last week with the win. And rounding out your top 5 is Zach Knowles. Looking at the modified tours here real quick, Christian Peterson with a sizable lead over Seth the Merchant. Talking about 64 points in third. Robbie Bundon, Zach Mecca fourth, and rounding out your top 5 is Kyle Leveralt in the Tour Modifieds. That's coming into tonight's race number 14. So including tonight, we got about 5 races left in this Modified Madness Tour, folks. And it's only going to get more and more intense the closer we get towards the end. Taking a look at tonight as we see the drivers now finishing up a little practice session here. It was a post-qualification practice hot lap session. Just trying to get this track filled out because it is a warm one, and you're going to see a lot of sliding action once these guys start to see right there. Somebody coming off the wall into 2 and a heavy hit on that inside guardrail. So as we take a look at the grid here tonight, this is what your grid looks like. Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant in that first row. Peterson will actually start on the pole tonight, as previous races, since the Merchant did win, if you have consecutive victories in the series, you will expect to be relegated to the back. And for tonight, Peterson will actually start out on the pole. Favorable position for that 23 six-man Inc. car. Looking at that second row, Clint Crowell, Wade Cheetah will round out that second row. Brian Neff, Adam Rigo in the third. Fourth row is Kyle Leverall, Tom Hameka, Robbie Bundon, and Zach Mecca. Round out your first 5 rows and the top 10 positions for the tours. Looking back here in the lights, Tanner Cook, Jason Freeman are in that first row. Kyle Barnes, Benny Ellison, Scott Naslin, Rhett Tucker is the first 3 rows. Rounding out the last rows here, Davis Warren, Cameron Hearn, and Austin Coop. Cameron Hearn, Anarchy Motorsports Series Cup Series favorite. Trying to make a go of it here tonight in the number 2 light modified. And it looks like the cars are set and ready to go here. currently having a little bit of technical difficulties. Bear with us here, folks. Take a look there from the flag stand. You can see these cars are ready to go. Pace cars set to take them all around. Here we go. It's going to be one guy tough to beat here at this track tonight. Two of the guys to be able to do it. Both teammates up front and sponsored by Six Man Inc. There is your light modified points leader right there, Tanner Cook. Will be one of the tougher light modified drivers to beat here at New Hampshire. As they make their way in, pace car will be set to go into the pits. There it goes into the front stretch. Here we go tonight. Peterson to Merchant up front. The green flag flies. We are underway. And the roar of the modifieds into turn number one. They cross that start-finish line. The first race lap completed here tonight. Here is Christian Peterson working his midpoint through turns 1 and 2. See the darkened up line for practice, the favorable line here tonight, the modified. Tour-style modifieds pulling away with that extra horsepower in the straightaways already from the light modifieds. Out of turn number 4, Peterson looking really solid with almost a 0.2 second lead over Seth Merchant.
All right, man, caution is out, caution is out.
And it looks like we're going to have an issue here. The 48 of Clint Crowell coming out of that fourth turn. Slick track conditions here tonight. We're seeing it already. Let's go back and take a look at the replay here on the 48 car. Exactly what happened here with Clint Crowell. Word on the street is that there was a large wolf spider in the cockpit of that car. As comical as that may sound, folks, when you don't clean out your car, something just caused that car to go to the left, and I think he was not paying attention at the wheel and gave that spider a little too much attention, and he's just going to veer off to the left at an inside wall. Something has happened. That is the word on the street. If we get an update, we'll definitely let you know, folks. Tough break there early on. Thought it was possibly a grip issue coming out of turn number 4, but this early on in the race, you wouldn't expect to see quite that unless there was some serious oversteer in the setup, but it does look like he just veered off. As you can see right there, he's still down on pit road. So here on lap number 5, Christian Peterson, Seth the Merchant, Wade Cheetah, Adam Rigo, and Brian Neff, the top 5 in the Tour Modifieds. Back in the line, newcomer Rhett Tucker last week, currently leading the light modifieds, just ahead of Tanner Cook, Scott Naslin, Davis Warren, Kyle Barnes, Benny Ellison. Hopeful here tonight. We thought we was going to see the number 2 of Cameron Hearn, did not make it out there. A little bit of issues with the setup of the car. He's not able to field, as well as Austin Coop, Jason Freeman as well. Warmer temperatures in practice taking its toll on a few of the drivers. Again tonight, folks, with the Championship Racing Association, it has been announced. Coming up this winter, they're going to have a major late model and super late model series. It's going to be one for the books. If you're a late model driver, super late model driver, you want to get in on the action, definitely check them out on the website, Championship Racing Association. You see it down there below, Modified Madness Tour. Put all that together and add a.com after it. That's their website. A lot of great things in the works here with this league, and it's been an awesome season here with the Modified Madness Tour, especially taking two classes of cars, putting them on the same track. A very dynamic race atmosphere, to say the least. Also with Digital Forge Broadcasting News, as you may have heard if you've been tuning in the last couple days, new website is up and running, forgebroadcasting.com on the web. We've got a tablet and mobile version. Feel free to check them out on whatever means you like to browse the web. Lights have come off the pace car here to lap number 7. We'll get the green flag on lap 8. Peterson, DeMerchant still up front. Sheeta and Rigo will round out your front 4 for the Tours. Tucker, Cook, Naslin, and Warren will round out your front 4 for the lights. As the pace car heads into turn number 3. See, these guys are starting to bunch up as they're getting ready to go. Peterson will be setting that pace. Pace car into the pits. Flagman ready to give the signal.
Green flag, green
There's
flag.
the green flag. We're back to the race on lap number 8. Down the backstretch, heading in towards turn number 3. It's a close battle up front between Peterson and DeMerchant. DeMerchant trying a little crossover move coming out of turn number 4. He's going to be side by side, and the battle for the race lead across the start-finish line into lap number 9. DeMerchant looks like he's got the momentum to the inside of Peterson. He goes, working the lower part of the group, pushing that 23 car up the track. And again, folks, these guys are sponsored by the same company, Sixth Man Inc. And now we see Peterson regaining the lead, working that middle group. Wade Cheetah to the outside, slides a little bit to the entry of turn number 4. And that's going to sit around the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. Take a look at the side-by-side battle between Rigo and Neff coming across the start and finish line as Neff to the high side of Adam. Rigo still works that middle group. As it looks like now, Rigo's going to come up to the middle point as well, settling up behind the number 60 of Brian Neff. Tanner Cook has taken back the race lead in the light modifieds here, heading into turn number 3. As you see, the number 18 car work the midpoint, lower point now. Difference in horsepower, difference in racecraft, middle line for the Tours, lower line for the lights. Looks like Brett Tucker's going to fall back just about a half a second behind the 18th car. Davis Warren has pulled a little bit away from Scott Naslin, but Naslin looks like he's getting some ground back here in turn number 2. As they head into the backstretch, Naslin now approaching. Will he make an inside pass for 3? Looking to the inside, he's going to settle up. Not quite just yet. Jumping back up into Tour Modifieds, coming across that start finish line into lap number 12. Christian Peterson working the middle line here of turn 1. Still ahead of Seth DeMerchant. If you tuned in last week at Thompson, what an interesting finish to that race as Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant heading into turns 1 and 2. Got into a little bit of a contact issue. And it looks like Peterson ended up coming up short on that one. Was sent up into the wall and down into the infield. Seth the Merchant ended up coming away with the victory there as he was the tough car to beat. Cheetah back in third position behind Seth the Merchant, just ahead of Neff, but Neff looks like he's on the move as he has pulled away from Adam Rico. And it looks like the Merchant getting behind teammate Christian Peterson into turn number 1 here on lap number 14, still looking to that middle groove. Gotta wonder, with these guys being sponsored like this, are they going to race as hard as they have in the past? Just recently announced that the Merchant was joining the 6-man Inc. group. Seems to be the faster car here tonight as he's riding the bumper of Christian Peterson. Just here before the Tour Modifieds coming across that start and finish line. Back to the lights, Tanner Cook. Look at this, he has checked out. He pulls across the start and finish line. Red Tucker still trying to hold off Davis Warren. Looks like Scott Naslund behind Warren. Still looking to be the faster car. I was expecting to see that 70 go down a position possibly to the 33 as Naslund was approaching pretty quick, but it looks like Naslund has taken a conservative route, just settled up for now. And it looks like Naslund's actually going to push just a little bit on the entry point to turn number 1. Watch the Tour Modifieds roll across the start-finish line. Wayne Cheetah trying to get up to the bumper of Seth the Merchant, and Neff now really close to Cheetah. As we'll take you on board here, following Brian Neff. Neff picking up the Winn-Dixie sponsor midpoint of the season, was unsponsored going into the Modified Madness Tour. Just see the fight for the grip in the midpoint of these turns. These guys are fighting for it. Nice little battle back here between Rigo and Leverall as they head into turn number 3. That is Tom Hameka right there in front of Adam Rigo. Tom Hameka this season has been a top 5 finisher. Looks pretty solid, but had a few cautionary incidents and had a few different tracks, and unfortunately pretty much has took his hopes for a chase out late in the season, but has not given up again. Good solid driver to race around. Race is really clean. One major incident that does come to mind was actually a collision with the lights at Martinsville earlier this season. That got the entry point of turn number 3. Got plowed through by Austin Coob and Tanner Cook. The battle for the light modified victory there. Other than that, he's pretty much a good race car driver. Good, again, good driver to race around. As we take a look at the lights, Tanner Cook, look at the gap between Cook and Tucker. Tucker now heads into turn number 3. Naslund still looks antsy there, back in 4th position. As he might get around the 70 car here, looking to the inside. Not sure if he's going to have the light to pass into turns 1 and 2. A little bit of dust picking up on the track. Naslund to the inside. Here we go. Naslund to the inside of Warren. Out of turn number 2. They're side by side. Naslin was worried about contact, swung it low. He comes back up into the groove, and Scott Naslin moves into third here in the light modifieds. Worried about contact, still had the faster car, and now look, he's starting to pull away from the 70 of Davis Warren as he begins his climb up to Brett Tucker. Across the start-finish line here tonight, total of 20 laps led. The other two to the guy behind him, Seth the Merchant. Wade Cheetah still holding on to third. And it looks like a little battle between Neff as he's going to go around the light modified driver, Kyle Barnes. Normally throws on the race control helmet or hat, but tonight he's got the helmet on. Likes to get out there every now and then and race with the light modifieds. And look at the battle here. Want to call it a battle because these two tend to be pretty competitive even though they are sponsored by the same company. See Peterson into turns 1 and 2 with the Merchant behind him. Tanner Cook working his way through turns 3 and 4 now. Really close to the wall. Naslin looking for an inside pass on Brett Tucker. Florida driver made his debut last week at Thompson. And here they come into the backstretch. As Naslin looks to the inside of Tucker. On turns 3 and 4. Can the 33 car get around? Looks like that Red Bull car just ahead of them is looking pretty solid. Naslin looks to the inside yet again in the turns 1 and 2. Wade Cheetah back in third position. Coming up on the light modified drivers just ahead. Slide action into turn number 3. Catching the light modifieds in the straightaway.
All right, man, caution is out.
We've got a spin out. Little contact between Naslin and Tucker. As we go back and take a look, out of turn number 2 is where it's going to unfold. Not quite contact, it is just Red Tucker getting loose coming out of 2. The contact came after the fact. So that 19 Red Bull car getting turned self-inflicted out of turn number 2 here into lap number 29. Second caution of the flag, or second caution flag coming out tonight. Let me hold my words together here, folks. Appreciate you tuning in this Wednesday night for the Modified Madness Tour. We're going to take a short commercial break when we come back. More race action to come from New Hampshire, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Tour Modified race lead. You can see Wade Cheetah in the backstretch, working his way, but a hard-fought battle behind him, as it looks like now. Peterson battling to Merchant. Both got down pit road, took some fuel. A little heavy push there. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3 is Brian Neff, just ahead of Christian Peterson and Seth DeMerchant. Looking to the inside out of the 4th turn. They'll be side by side, Peterson and Neff. Neff with a little momentum and another caution flag coming out. And it looks like it's going to be Benny Ellison having some issues getting that transmission in reverse. We'll have to get a tow back to pit road. As we take a look, following the 0-1, Kyle Leveralt's going to get major turn. That's what's going to be the resulting factor. So a little animosity here with Leveralt. Dial it back one more time here. Leveralt's going to come back up the track, and unfortunately, Ellison was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Here we see it again. Just a heavy turn on the 7 car. And it looks like the 70 of Davis Warren is just going to go spinning with Leveralt down to the infield. So that is a light modified and tour modified incident. And Leveralt just lets go of everything. And that's why you see the car roll back up onto the track. Right there's Benny Ellison, Rhett Tucker as well. Tucker barely escapes with no contact. Ellison's going to smack the wall as you see the sparks fly as he hits the safer barrier, nearly rolling his car. Take a look at that. Everybody in that turn give a little helping breath to push that car back over. And the 0-1 avoids it, but unfortunately it looks like some transmission issues on the 0-1. Leveralt still down pit road. Ellison as well may have to get that worked out. So back under the yellow here in New Hampshire. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, more race to come your way, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Donkey Overdrive.
Nice aerial blunt view of the New Hampshire racetrack as we're about to go back green. Wayne Chief is still up front. Tom Hameka will be to the outside. Brian Neff, Christian Peterson rounding out your front four in the Tour Modifieds. As the pace car heads into the pits, here we go. The green flag's back in the air. We're back to the race on Black Horse 1. Behind Brian Neff, we've got a big spin out. Scott Naslin, Brett Tucker, Tanner Cook, top 3 drivers in the light modified division here tonight. And a big issue coming out of turn number 2. Cautions, breeding cautions here in New Hampshire. Go back and take a look. Looks like it's going to start right there as Rhett Tucker to the inside of Naslin, or Cook, excuse me, to the outside of Naslin, and all 3 drivers getting hooked up. They're out of 2, and they're all going to go for a spin. Just a case for fighting for the best line coming out of turn number 2, setting yourself up. Red Bull car of Rhett Tucker of the 19 is going to hit the inside wall. Cook flirting with it here. Will he tag it? Oh, it's going to be close. He's going to get a little contact, just a little bump. Could possibly knock the toe out of that right front. The Rockstar car of Tanner Cook. Tough night here at New Hampshire already here in the not even first 50 laps. They're going to come down pit road here for a little pit stop action. Nice pit lane view there for you folks. You see Scott Naslin making his way off of the pits. Here comes Cook. And still waiting to see if we'll see Brett Tucker here. Tucker's still down on pit road. Not exactly sure what's going on. There he is. Brett Tucker making his way off of pit road. One of those good racing incidents, people looking for the best line, and in doing so, you don't expect to see these cars sway from the contour. The hotter temperature is definitely making that a possibility here this evening. So Tucker will rejoin the field. Fifth position. I was asked a question last week, post-broadcast, definitely wanted to share it with you guys here tonight. Some people that tune in and watch, they tend to hear this pop and clicking noise during pacing laps. They were asking what that noise was. Well, that's what we would call the marbles. Not familiar with what that term is, little pieces of tire flicking off as these guys expend the grip. As they work their way through the turns, move their cars, they're going to have little shavings of tire grip come off. You hear those little pops and clicks, that's what you're hearing. He's actually with iRacing's dynamic track update, first version 1. They brought these actually out onto the track, which they're all going to pretty much, with the breeze of the track, going to move up closer to the wall. So if you find yourself up in the wall, you'll be up in a sea of these little guys. And definitely can find a loss of grip. Drivers have equated hitting the marble patch as if it's like black ice. Cars set to head into the pits now as Wayne Cheetah, Tom Hameka in front of the Tour Modified, Peterson and Neff in the front four. Here we go down the front stretch. There's the green flag. We're back to the race on the and Wade Cheetah out ahead of Hameka coming out of turn number 2. Tucker on the low side there as everybody works their way down the back stretch. You can see a hungry number 20, Christian Peterson. Behind Hameka looking for a chance to pass. But one of those there. The Merchant now to the inside of Neff as he comes down the front stretch. Second Merchant. And door level with the 60 car. The Merchant down to the low side in turn number 1. In turn number 2 is going to hang it there. Can he outbeat the 60 out of 2? And it looks like now the 23 of Christian Peterson to the inside of Hameka before turn number 3. Neff's going to tag the wall. Roll to the right side there out of the 60 Winn-Dixie. And now Peterson around Hameka. Merchant still behind. Oh, you can definitely tell. A cautionary move from Brian Neff to the inside of Hameka as Hameka tagged that wall. Really bringing up the right side of that car. The Merchant to the low side of Hameka in 2. Peterson trying to work his way up to Wade Cheetah. Neff back there in third position to Merchant, still to the inside of Hameka. In turn number 3 here on lap 48. Rallying into the fourth turn to Merchant, trying to get around the 14 car. He's going to tag the wall yet again. That's going to allow the Merchant to pass the 14 car before turn number 1. Take a look at Christian Peterson now battling for the race lead in the Tour Modified. Wants to keep that bounty rolling. It's up to $40 in iRacing credits here tonight. Wade Cheetah down to turn number 3. Brian Neff going to tag the wall. Peterson in the 6-man car to the inside of Wade Cheetah in turn number 4. Really up side-by-side level into the front stretch. High side winning out across the start-finish line. Into lap 50 we go. Peterson to the inside of Cheetah, excuse me. As they battle now in turn number 2, a little slide there from the 23 car, and Cheetah keeps rolling on. Neff trying to block. What an aggressive move from that 60 car. Does not want DeMerchant to get around. It really took the aggressive approach to protect the inside and over DeMerchant. Now DeMerchant looking to rally back, and they're going to get collected. Caution flag's going to come out as the aggression takes its toll. Out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. Brian Neff is going to get locked up with Seth DeMerchant. That's going to bring out the next caution flag. As we follow these drivers, turn number 4, right about there. Just going to be a little incident as going to go through a time warp split here as these guys are going to go through one another. You definitely see the racing, hard racing taking its toll on the 60 Winn-Dixie machine of Brian Neff. It's going to go for just a little spin. As we go back, take another look. We're actually going forward here with Seth DeMerchant. Get DeMerchant's perspective here. This is coming out of turn number 2. See the heavy aggression right there. Trying to keep that 35 car behind him. Just a little contact right there between DeMerchant and Neff. So Tom Homeka tonight is going to get some laps led here as he's currently out front in the pace laps as Wade Cheetah makes his way down pit road. Davis Warren finding himself up front in the light modifieds. Total of 11 laps led here tonight for the Texas drivers. Max lap time 32.238. Started 7th in the light modifieds. So here into lap 54, we're still under the yellow, but this is where it gets interesting, folks. As we take a look, Tour Modified driver Robbie London, currently sitting 5th in the Tours, has the light modified drivers Davis Morrison, losing my words, Davis Warren, Scott Naslin behind him. Behind Naslin, Peterson, Leverall, and Neff, 3 Tour Modified drivers. Then we come back. Tanner Cook gets mixed up in it. So you got a big mixture here after position number 5 behind Robbie London, a mixture of Tour Modified and Light Modified drivers, which really is the dynamic atmosphere that this Modified Madness Tour brings. Hence, enter the madness. The Tour guys have to find a way to get around the light guys. It is 2 separate races. Again, can't stress that enough. 2 separate races. We have 2 victors each week, 1 from each division. And the light modifieds, it sometimes may be slower, but they do not have to give up the track to the Tour modifieds. It's at their discretion. If they choose to do it, they can. But they do not ultimately have to do that. Tour modified drivers with the higher horsepower engines should be able to find a way around these light modifieds, and if not, then so be it. Again, enter the madness. Lights off the pace car in the backstretch here on lap 55. We're going to get the green flag next time around. Emeka and DeMerchant out front. Rigo and Zach Mecca will be your front four. Pace car set to go into the pits this time by. Here we go as the pace car now makes its way into the pits. Green flag flies, and there goes Emeka DeMerchant. DeMerchant ready for him on the restart. Look at that 14 car rally that inside. Zach Mecca, the holy man himself, right there to the inside of Seth DeMerchant. Mecca's going to open the doorway for Zach Mecca on the fresher tires. And the battle into turn 3 is going to go to Seth DeMerchant. Little stagger 3-wide action in turn number 4. And Adam Rigo to the inside of Peterson to the inside, nearly shoots up 2 spots. As he's trying to get around Adam Rigo, will have the position coming out of turn number 2. Right there behind the 42 of Zach Mecca. Mecca protects the inside. Peterson over the top. Pushes way high in turn 4. And the ground that he gained at 3, he's lost in that 4th turn. Oh, and Zach Mecca, ladies and gentlemen. Little Houdiniac there in the front stretch, disappears, comes back. The ultimate mind trick out here in iRacing. And it looks like the 6-man Inc. boys are back up front, this time DeMerchant ahead of Peterson. As long as one of these 2 drivers finishes in first, the bounty will continue in the Tour Modified. Currently, it looks like there's a chance that the bounty will be collected on Taylor Cook tonight. Davis Warren, 70 car. Oh, not so much just yet. Brian Neff goes around. He's a Tour Modified driver. Makes his way around Davis Warren. But take a look. Scott Naslund on the approach to the 70 car as they work their way down towards turn 3. Naslund not one of the more aggressive drivers, more of a calculated driver. Waits for the right time. Right now the spots are coming out of turn number 4. Naslund to the inside of Warren across the start finish line. Into lap number 60. Here goes Naslund. Works the inside of Warren here in turns 1 and 2. Will he have the position? By a nose just coming out of that 2nd turn. They still find themselves side by side in the backstretch. Naslund now on the favorable line to the inside, takes over as the Tour Modified driver Kyle Leverall is going to tag Davis Warren. Unfavorable circumstances for Warren as Leverall was trying to get around him. Let's go back and take a look real quick at that action. Pretty much pulling Warren from the lead, or chances at getting back to the lead at that particular time. Take a look again. Coming out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Slower light modified right there. Okay, so I miscalled that one. Warren got just a little bit loose, but again, it was a little bit of contact with Kyle Leverall, so not initially caused by Kyle Leverall, so Warren getting loose. And it looks like Brett Tucker is going to be a little loose again. Let's go back and take a look. Go from one replay to a caution replay. Tucker and Cook finding themselves battling again. And right there, wow. Tanner Cook. Don't know if that was exactly a line fight, a battle for the position, what was going on right there. But Cook definitely got into the back of Tucker. And I bet that Tanner Cook's not too happy with the night going on right now. As Kyle Barnes makes his way down pit road, Davis Warren as well. Let's see if we can go on board here with that 18 car and get an interview. Tanner Cook, this is Dustin Caldwell at the booth. Are you there?
Unfortunately.
Well, tonight, trying to fight to keep that bounty alive here on that wonderful, wonderful Rockstar machine. And it's been a tough night here for the 18 car. Tell us a little bit about your night so far.
I don't know. I guess Red Bull just has it out for us tonight, and he wants to hit me every chance he gets. So he dumped me coming off of 2, and then now he's a lap down, and he's trying to race with me and beating the Nerf bars off of it, so I told him I didn't like it.
Definitely a little animosity there with the newcomer Rhett Tucker. Has there been any other drivers out there that you've really been looking at a chance possibly to collect this bounty tonight?
Tonight, I think Maslin has a really good shot at it. Other than that, I think, I don't even know who's left, really. Pretty sure Red Bull took them all out. Yeah, I think Maslin will get it, if anybody.
All right.
This
Was there
is
any
my
thanks or shout out you want to give while we got you on the line?
Yeah, thanks for Red Bull for not sponsoring me and giving me such crap cars like they gave that guy.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck to you in the laps to come there, Tanner.
Thank you, sir.
There you have it. A little animosity brewing here between Rockstar and Red Bull. Battle of the energy drinks, and somebody's got to give. Right now it looks like Tanner Cook slowing up just to let that Red Bull car by. Of course, would like to see a Monster Energy full throttle car out there as well. A little drama between these two guys right here on the track now. The sixth man heat, guys back up front side by side as the lights come off the pace car here on lap 66. Pits. To Merchant to the inside of Peterson. A little bit of sway from the drivers coming out of that second turn. The hotter track temperature taking its toll here in quite haven't made it to the end of the first half of this race. Zach Michaels to the inside of Cheetah as they come across the start and finish line in turn number 1. Mecca working that inside groove. And the battle for the line. Out of turn number 2, and it looks like Mecca's going to give as Cheetah's going to go by the high side. Ryan F. trying to get in there as well before turn number 3. That's your top 5 right now in the Tour Modified. Seth the Merchant, Chris is the top of the Cheetah, Ryan F. Tanner Cook, Scott Mack, Tucker. Top 5 in the lights. Tanner Cook finds that Tucker behind him out of turn number 2. and DeMerchant working together in the backstretch now. And it looks like Wade Cheetah and Tom Hameka are going to have a little battle into 3. Cheetah to the inside of Tom Hameka. Oh, Cheetah with a little bit of slide action. Oh, he's going to go up to the side of Neff. Here comes Zach Hameka, roaring by the inside across the start-finish line. 42 car on the pressure set of tires, works his way around. Wade Cheetah. Slide action into 2 to the inside. And the conservative drivers will make their way right back around the 42 of Zach Hameka. Ryan Neff really on the bumper of Wade Cheetah into turns 3 and 4. Cheetah now looks like he's starting to pull away in turns 1 and 2. Merchant and Peterson pretty much checking out to a 1.2 second lead over Tom Hameka in the backstretch here. See the gap in the Tour Modifieds. And take a look at this. We've seen some drama early on. Red Tucker now up to the bumper of Tanner Cook into turns 3 and 4. And the energy drinks again finding their way up to the front. Tucker looks to the inside of Cook. Cook's going to protect it inside, and a little bit of contact. And another contact. Oh, and around goes Tucker out of 2. Not able to hold the line. And for Tanner Cook, this has got to be a point of breath of fresh air. A lot of pressure with Red Tucker behind him, even though Tucker is a couple laps down. See this contact again. It looks like Tucker just going to get loose yet again and go for a spin out of 2. Total of 5 laps led here tonight for the Florida driver. Warmer track conditions getting tougher and tougher to race these cars as the lap progresses. Does look like a lot of the cars coming back down pit road now. That's DeMerchant and Peterson tactfully working their pit strategy out tonight here at New Hampshire. A lot of the other Tour Modified drivers making their way down pit road. This is the Modified Madness Tour here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Wednesday night. Still a lot of racing to come as we just reached the halfway point here at New Hampshire. So you don't want to go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to New Hampshire, lap number 82. 8 cautions on the night so far. Warmer track conditions definitely a factor in those, although there has been some great hard racing incidents that have brought down the caution flag more than once. Wing Cheeto Tom Lemecca still up front, trying to collect the bounty on the 6-man Inc. here tonight. As the lights come off the pace car here in lap 83. It looks like it's going to go back green on lap 84. Getting closer and closer. Seeing if Wade Cheetah will be able to pick up the bounty tonight off of 6-man Inc. Tom Hameka, though, giving him a fight on that outside. Tanner Cook back to the race lead in the light modified. Will have Scott Naslin to deal with. The pace car now into turn number 4 will be set to go into the pits. There it goes. Cheetah to set the pace as they make their way down the front stretch. The green flag flies. We are back to the race on lap 84. And they roar into turn number 1. Christian Peterson taking it 3 wide to the inside. Wow, the aggression continue this bounty tonight. You can definitely tell these guys want to get back to the front. Teammate Seth Merchant to the outside in turn number 3 now moves ahead. Robbie Bunyan to the outside of the Merchant coming out of turn number 4. Rigo is going to go around the Bunyan. Merchant and Peterson working that inside groove down into turn number 1 here on lap 85. Bunyan's going to get spun around. Caution flag number 9 coming out on lap number 85 in turn number 1. Let's go back and take a look at the replay here, folks. London working that outside line. You definitely see Rico getting around. Had to slow up as Rico went around. Inside on turn number 1, and Neff is going to make some contact right there. That's what you call a netcode bump, folks, out in the virtual racing world, as Brian Neff will tag the virtual bumper here of Robbie Bundan, sending that car spinning right around, and the 87 will result in bringing out caution number 9. Temperatures tonight definitely playing a factor. And let's take a look. 9 lane changes up in the tour modifieds and then light modifieds combined. Matching number 8 caution here in New Hampshire. Still plenty of race action because the lead folks don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So I'm Dan Garrison, engineer at iRacing. I've been working on dynamic track and wanted to take the lab coat off to kind of give an update on what I've been doing to enhance things on the asphalt side, what we're kind of calling the dynamic track version 2. When we started looking at dirt and the interaction between the tire and the track, kind of pointed us to some things we could improve on the asphalt side as well. We were able to kind of rework the calculations that account for heat transferring generally in the direction from the tire to the track. The track will cool a little bit faster when cars are not on it, but more significantly, cars running on the track are going to impart more energy into it, bringing the temperature up and changing the racing experience so that you do have to be wary of the track getting hot and reducing your grip. I've been rethinking some of the calculations that determine kind of how the rubber is torn, whether it's how much is torn from the tire, how much is torn from a rubbered-in track. I've made some changes so that rolling tire will pick up more rubber. We also looked at the thickness of the rubber under the contact patch and realized we can make improvements to the model there. As a result, we're able to make the tire respond a little bit more to how much rubber is there. We're able to influence how fast the track rubbers in areas where the tires are working hard. So I'm excited about these changes that we're making. The temperature in the track is going to be a lot more dynamic. It's going to mean you're going to have to dive around looking for the cool parts of the track. I think it's going to make the different lines come in and change the racing experience, and I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to change things following the September build when it comes out.
Back under the green here at New Hampshire. Let me show you another picture-esque shot. Footage from our webcam as they work their way down into the backstretch. She's still up front, working his way down into turn number 3. Set the merchant to the inside of Tom Lemecca. Christian Peterson back behind him. Adam Vigo behind Peterson. Taking out the fourth turn, the 35 car up to merchant to the inside of Lemecca. Looking for a 2-position gain here. The turn number 1's going to dive it down. Makes contact with Wade Cheetah. That, my friends, what you call a dive bomb right there. Trying to fight for that inside groove. Causing a caution, another guy to get loose. Wild move there from Seth the Merchant. And tonight's caution flags just hit double digits. As that was a qualifying lead change right there. Lead changes matching cautions here in the 91 laps completed at New Hampshire. Looking back at light modified driver Scott Naslin here tonight, had a chance to talk with Tanner Cook. Said this guy might be the guy to be able to capture and collect that bounty that's on that Rockstar Energy modified. So we'll go live now with Scott Naslin. Scott, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, props given to you here tonight from the bounty man himself, Tanner Cook. He feels you're going to be the likely guy to possibly collect that bounty here at New Hampshire. Although you do have Davis Warren ahead of you. Tell us a little bit about how your car's handling tonight.
Oh, it's handling all right. It's just been tricky on these restarts. Yeah, it's just been a crazy night so far. I think I've been in 3 accidents myself, but I haven't had any damage.
Have you had, let's talk about some of the newer drivers that showed up in both classes. Have you had any run-ins with any drivers there?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout-out you want to give while we got you on the line there, bud?
Oh, just shout out to Tanner Cook for being in the pits right now.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the laps to come, Scott.
All right, thanks.
Definitely a happy Scott Naslin, the number 33 car. Tanner Cook down pit road currently. And it looks like, take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting. This is what you would come to expect from a lot of short tracks. Seth the Merchant is going to get relegated to the back, as it looks like his aggressive move on Wade Cheetah, bringing out the caution. Race control puts them both to the back of the field. Now, some may argue this point and say that the Merchant should be the one to go to the back of the field, and Cheetah should be able to retain his race lead. Depending upon what track you go to and whatever your local track may be, the rules will vary. Here in the CRA League, I think race control is finally getting frustrated, and all that are involved are going to get sent to the back. As we followed the Merchant, take a look at the stats of the number 1 driver here tonight. He started second. He's going to fall back to 7th here at the restart on lap. Looks like it's going to be lap 97. 20 laps led for him here tonight. A fast time, 30.758. Got word from race control that all the modified lights are back on the lead lap. Keep things interesting here. Generous night from race control and a draconian night, I should say, for the Tour modified, or draconian night. As the base car now into turn number 4, set to go into the pits. Peterson will take us back to the green. Lamecca to the outside. Here we go. The green flag flies. We're back to race on lap 96. Into the backstretch towards turn number 3, Christian Peterson. Still continuing to lead as he passed the 14 of Mecca. Looks like Zach Mecca's going to make contact on the wall. He's going to fall back in a hurry. Back to 6th position. Mecca, though, still battling with Peterson out of turn number 2 as they roar into the backstretch. Peterson's going to make contact with the wall. That's going to give some ground to the 14 of Mecca as they head into turn number 3. Mecca rallies back out of the 4th turn to the inside of Christian Peterson. And around he goes. Tom Mecca takes over the race lead in turn 1 here on lap number 98. To the outside. Oh, wow! A heavy incident out of turn number 2. And Tom Mecca, fuel leaking out of that car, some smoke roaring out. He is wheels up in the backstretch. Let's go back and take a look. So Christian Peterson was trying the outside. Hameka snaps with grip after he slides a little bit in turn 2, and both these cars, a rarity you're going to find in modifieds. Seeing these cars flip like this, unbelievable. Zach Mecca is going to try to avoid contact with Tom Hameka as teammate Christian Peterson rolls wheel side up by Seth the Merchant. Bobby Bunden, ARCA brakes in full force, is going to help turn over the car of Christian Peterson. Actually, favorable bounce there is going to allow the 23 car. You can see the skid marks on the roof of the 23 car. He's going to get rolled over. But unfortunately, Tom Hameka, Texas driver, upside down after just taking over the race lead. Got out of turn number 2. And all that animosity unfolds. So they do get him down pit road. Car flipped over. Take a look at this. Brian Neff now will go to the front with Kyle Leveralt behind him. Davis Warren still leading light modified drivers. I'll pull a guy in here and talk a little bit with him here tonight. I'm gonna bring him in. He's out there in a race car just coming out of pit road. Get him on the line here. Kyle Barnes is Dustin Caldwell. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
What a night of racing here in New Hampshire. 11 cautions. Did you have to catch the incident coming out of 2?
With the Tour modified leaders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Looked like Tom just got loose to the inside and collected Peterson. That will pretty much knock Peterson out of the bounty, I would assume. He's got some pretty heavy damage. He did turtle it there, as you call it. So it looks like it's going to be up to Seth to try and keep the bounty secure for the 6-man incorporated.
So as long as one of the 6-man cars finish the race, the bounty can be collected.
That's exactly right. As long as one of them finished competitively, they're not wrecked out. You know, any of those rules that you would see at a normal short track are the rules we go by here. So we still got Seth out there. He's still eligible for the bounty. It looks like Christian's tore up pretty bad, but you never do can tell with that guy. I know at 5 Flags, he halfway blew his motor up there in turn 1, lap 1, and then he came back to win that night. So, you know, he still might have a shot at it, even with the hurt car.
Well, it does look like he's going to make his way off of pit road now, so we'll have to see what's going on there with the 23 car, but you can definitely tell by the way he come off of pit road, vengeance is upon us. So, Kyle, thanks a lot for your time. Just got to ask real quick, what's it feel like to be behind the wheel versus being in the race control booth?
It's pretty fun. These guys are getting a little crazy though tonight. Not really sure what's into them, but we're just going to try and survive like we have this whole entire race and see what we got to be in.
I think there's a full moon approaching loud in here tonight. But again, thanks, Kyle, for your time, and best of luck to you out there tonight.
Thank you.
Full moon indeed approaching Louding here tonight with the craziness that we're seeing here at New Hampshire. Pace cars lights have come off. Brian Neff, Kyle Leveralt up front in the Tour Modifieds. Back green on lap 103. There goes the pace car. Neff to set the pace. Mecca ready to go. Right there behind Neff. The green flag's in the air, and off we go. Battle into turn 1. Seth the Merchant to the outside of Zach Mecca behind the 7 of Kyle Leveralt as they work their way into the backstretch. Brian Neff, the Winn-Dixie machine, out to the front. Here comes Seth the Merchant down to the lower groove. He's going to look to the inside. Seth the Merchant back from the depths after the incident in Winn in turn number 1. Lap, I believe, lap 93. Has worked his way now back to the front, to the inside of Neff as Neff swings wide in turn number 2. Side by side, and it looks like DeMerchant's going to go to the race lead in 3 as Neff will fall back to second. Contact between Neff and DeMerchant at the entry point turn 4. And DeMerchant now starts to pull away by a couple of colleagues as he crosses the start-finish line into lap 105. Had a chance to talk with him under the yellow. Kyle Barnes has taken over the light modified lead as a hungry Brent Tucker in second position here tonight with Red Bull sponsor on that car. Tanner Cook behind him, the Rockstar Energy. Again, these two energy drink sponsored cars finding themselves right beside each other yet again, and now Tanner Cook looks to the inside of Brad Tucker. Here into lap 106 to the inside, really make the move. The 18 inside the 19. Side-by-side battle in turn 2 into the backstretch. Tour modified action behind him. As it looks like Adam Rigo on the move. Tanner Cook to the inside. Still battling side by side with Brad Tucker. This is the most civil these guys have been all night. As these guys have found themselves around each other more than once, and every time they've gotten around each other, somehow, some way, contact has brewed between the two of them. Brad Tucker now looks to the inside of Tanner Cook. Rigo, the Tour Modified driver, the inside. A little bunch up there in turn 3. And, oh, he's starting to climb the track. Brad Tucker checking up to avoid contact with Tanner Cook. Jump back up to the Tour Modified leader, Seth the Merchant. Leading by almost 4/10 of a second over the 60 of Brian Neff. Brian Neff crossing that start-finish line at the lap 1:09. Wade Cheetah battling with Kyle Leverall for 3rd position. As Cheetah looks like he's going to hang on to it, starting to pull away from the 7 car. MaxFire.com, the sponsor there on Wade Cheetah's car, the number 12. Robbie London here tonight in the top 5. Solid finish at Thompson last week. Looking for another top 5 finish here tonight. As they work their way into turn number 3. Barnes, Cook, and Tucker battle it out in the 3rd turn. As the 46 of Barnes works his way into the front stretch, here comes the 18 of Cook, Tanner Cook. And Cook on the bumper of Barnes. Looks to the inside, heading out of 2. Tanner Cook still looking to the inside in turn 3. Barnes definitely making it difficult to pass. And a little slide there from Barnes coming out of turn number 2, and Cook is not going anywhere. He is right on the bumper of Kyle Barnes. Brad Tucker with a little bit of push in turn 4 is going to fall off the pace just a little bit. Davis Warren back in 4th position. Has led 33 laps tonight here at New Hampshire. Tire wear looking like it's taking its toll here on the 70 car, the Texas driver. Just about 1.2 seconds behind race leader Kyle Barnes. Back up to the tours and pulling away from Brian Neff is the 35 of Seth the Merchant. 1.2 second lead over the 60 car now as he works his way into the front stretch towards lap 115. A total of 30 laps led now for the 35 car. And it looks like we're going to have a caution flag out. See a slow moving Scott Naslin back there. Not sure if That's where the incident was at. The kind of level was looking pretty slow, so we'll actually follow the 7 car here. Right there, a little bit of snap to the inside as he's trying to slow up. And it looks like Brent Tucker, 2 separate incidents. One's actually bringing out the caution. Let's go back and take a look at Tucker yet again. Battle between Cook and Barnes out of 2. Take a look at that. And just a loose snap sends him up into the wall, and the right side rockets up on that 19 car of Brent Tucker. You can see he's trying to stay with it to hold the grip, and around it finally comes. Tucker's going to meet the wall again, and look at that right side just continue to bounce up in the air. Fighting to keep that car 4 wheels down. Eventually gets a hold of it there in the backstretch. And caution number 12 comes out here at the range.
Overdrive.
124 of the 150 affair here in New Hampshire. And BC's had the Merchant still out to the race lead. It's a half a second lead over the 60 of Brian Neff. Adds Bucket to the outside. Battle in the light modifieds between Tanner Cook and Kyle Barnes. Barnes behind Cook, looks to the inside of turn number 3. Side by side yet again, these guys are battling hard. Bounty on the line, being collected here tonight. Tanner Cook wins, the bounty remains. Kyle Barnes wins, he collects the bounty. Same with the Tour Modified class, little slide action from both drivers, and around goes Cook. Cook spins out. So the pace car out on the track yet again. Here's again what we're looking and dealing with here in New Hampshire. Total of 13 cautions, 18 lead changes between the two divisions. 25 laps to go. Less than 25 laps to go. Gotta wonder if the Merchant's going to hang on. His teammate Christian Peterson currently back in 8th position for Tour Modifieds. Now making his way down the pit road yet again. No tire change to this point. It is all just fuel and repairs. Down pit road here on 23 of Christian Peterson. Having some issues down there on pit road. Must have not been, or was too far forward. Be 20 laps to go when the flag falls. Lap 131. Pace car is set to go into the pits as it works its way out of turn number 4. Into the pits it goes. Merchant and Neff up front. There's the green flag. We're back to the race on lap 131. Brian Neff out in front of Wade Cheetah. Merchant starts to pull away. And Adam Rigo a little slow on the move. Let's go back and take a look. Makes its way down pit road. Talking about the schedule coming up in the Digital Forge lineup. 1 week from tomorrow night kicks off the GM Parts Experts Super Late Model Series with the Sim Auto Racing Association, also known as CRA. Find them on the web at racera.com. We'll start that up on the 29th. Look forward to be broadcasting that. It'll be starting at 10 p.m. on those broadcasts Friday nights. The Bump and Run Street Stock Series winding down to a close. That 10 race series will take place this Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Didn't have a chance to broadcast Monday Night Modifieds with the Short Track National Showdown Series, but their modified series will continue as they'll be at Irwindale coming up next Monday night. Like the one and only Cup series that we broadcast is the Anarchy Motorsports Series, their Children's Dream Racer Cup series. That Chicagoland last night. I believe we'll be at this track coming up next Tuesday night. Modified Madness Tour coming up next Wednesday night. Take a look at the schedule. They'll move out of New Hampshire and roll into Southern National Motorsports Park. Back to some real short track racing. 1 mile tracks like New Hampshire, pretty much like the Daytona-esque super speedways for short tracks. Its definition of short track is 1 mile or less. This is the big time here for these guys. They normally find themselves on 310s, 410s, all the way up to 3/4 mile sized tracks. You get up to these big 1 mile tracks, it's almost like you're driving at Daytona or Talladega. Pace car now looking to head into the pits. There it goes. The Merchant still up front with Brian Neff to the outside. Green flags in the air. We're back to the race on lap 136. And the Merchant looks to the inside as Neff was ready on that restart to the outside of the 35 car, and it looks like the Merchant's going to have some momentum into turn number 3 to start to pull away from the 60. They both push up high in turn number 4. And the Merchant sees Neff to the inside as Brian Neff looks to the inside. Check up action from the 60 car to avoid contact, but he is right there. Oh, and around goes Neff. He's going to come back out onto the track, moving really slow. Loss of grip out of turn number 2. You can take a look at the track, folks, while we show you this. Take a look at the track. You can see the black streaks, the darkened marks. Heavy rubber laid down here tonight from these modifieds. That's why one of the reasons you hit that midpoint coming out of turn number 2. Right there, take a look at all those black streaks. You can see all the spin outs tonight on that track. So the job's getting easier and easier for the 6-man Inc. car to be able to stay out front. Be less than 10 laps when we go back green. And the guy that was looking hopeful to battle this 35 car up front, Brian Neff, will be relegated to the back of the field. And now Seth the Merchant's job for the moment seems to be a little bit easier. Tanner Cook still out front in the light modifieds as Davis Warren right there behind him, 70 car. He's led some laps here tonight. Take a look at that. 42 laps led for the 70 car. This Texas driver making his debut here at New Hampshire. Heck of a job he's done here tonight with track conditions. Started 7th on the grid. And he still looks take that lead away from Tanner Cook. You may have seen some commercials tonight in the Anki product Overdrive. If you have a chance to check that out on their website, anki.com. That's anki.com. Check them out with a couple other products that they have coming out. The Overdrive, if you remember the classic slot car style race cars where you could build your own tracks and race them, those definitely have evolved into the new digital age where you can use your cell phone or tablet to be able to race those cars, upgrade your cars, have different abilities to cause cars to spin out. You've seen one car, I believe, was laying a landmine or some sort of explosive device that would cause the other car to spin out. It's really neat technology put to work, and there's no slots. And one thing even better yet, this is what really kicks up the notch. You don't have anybody to race with. They have AI cars that you can race against. That's right, artificial intelligent cars that you can go up against. You can set the difficulty whether you want to face an easy car, medium car, or hard AI. So that way you can race. You want to race solo or with friends, you still have more cars on the field. You can do that, and even better yet, you can switch lanes. So there is a little tiny strip there that they do follow, but they do allow lane switching. So it is possible. Unlike the classic slot cars where you're pretty much based on your line given to work with. Definitely check them out on the web, anki.com, Anki. A lot of good artificial intelligence and products in their lineups. If you want to Again, one more time, check them out on the web, anki.com. Pace car set to head into the pits. It's going to be 9 laps remaining when we cross that start-finish line and the green flag flies. The Merchant ready to go with Cheetah to the outside. There's the green flag. We're back to the race. 9 to go here at Hampshire. MaxFire.com, number 12, 2 and modified. Looking to collect that bounty here tonight. Robbie Bundon back there behind Kyle Leverall in the battle for 3rd position. Kyle Barnes is now to the outside of Tanner Cook. Claimed at the race lead on the entry point to turn number 3. Has just got a nose out. And another caution flag comes out. Looks like Rhett Tucker here tonight, bringing out another yellow flag. So let's go back and take a look. Like Tucker's going to get a little net code bump off of Davis Warren. Both Neff and Naslund able to avoid the incident there, and he's just going to get spun out. The 19 car. Frustrated night for him. Oh, wow. We're coming back to replay, or from replay. Looks like a little incident going on there. Let's run back the replay camera one more time to check this out. Tucker definitely frustrated. Gotta go give a piece of his mind right over there to Davis Warren. Possibly no, Tanner Cook. Right there. Take a look at that. Not really doing anything to Cook, more or less. Self-inflicted wounds, and unfortunately, that being said, it's instant disqualification here from the race tonight. Warmer temperatures, warmer track conditions. Definitely a lot warmer errors, I should say. Take a look at the race summary here with about 5 to go. 22 lead changes between the drivers, 16 total cautions. Thinking it's going to probably be at least a 3-lap shootout. Anticipating the lights coming off the pace car this time by, so it'll be 4 to go, back to green with 3. The question is, will Tanner Cook be able to get around Kyle Barnes? See Seth the Merchant and able to hold off Wade Cheetah. The question is, these two guys right here, battle of the lights tonight. Will Kyle Barnes be able to hold off Tanner Cook? As the pace car comes across the start-finish line, the lights do come off. See Cheetah giving some friendly nudges to Seth the Merchant, letting him know he's ready. There'll be 3 laps to go when we get that green flag. Pace car now into turn number 3. 3 laps remain. 2 bounties, one race. Here we go. Pace car into the pits. The green flag's back in the air. Off goes Seth the Merchant. Cheetah with Kyle Leverall to the inside. The battle up front for the Tour Modified. Wayne Cheetah coming to the outside. Was trying to harness some momentum out of turn number 2. Looks to the inside. It'll be 2 laps to go. Kyle Barnes, Tanner Cook still side by side. Tanner Cook looks like he's going to be falling off pace just a little bit. It's going to be a close one here in the light modifieds, ladies and gentlemen. Seth the Merchant still holding on to the race lead out of turn number 2. All the way to about a 2/10 of a second lead over Wayne Cheetah. As they work their way, somebody to the inside. It looked like it might have been Adam Rigo. And with 2 laps to go, it's going to be the white flag in the air this time by, here comes Seth the Merchant. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go. Kyle Barnes just out in front of Tanner Cook. Jumping back between the 2 divisions. Here we go out of turn number 2. Just 2 more turns to go. Oh, Peterson rolls his car in the backstretch. Off the wall. No yellow flags. It is the white flag lap. Coming to the checkered flag. Holding on to the bounty in the Tour Modified. Seth the Merchant's going to get the win. Tanner Cook. Is he going to do it? Scott Naslund behind him will not make it, and both bounties are going to survive here tonight. Tanner Cook able to take victory. Seth the Merchant for 6 Man Inc. able to take victory after Christian Peterson. Let's go back and take a look at that one more time. Came off the wall and rolled his car. Right there, you see, he's just getting up into the wall, and it looked like he actually turned up into the wall. Not sure this was a ploy to help out the teammate at the expense of rolling his car, but it actually rolls his car in the backstretch on the white flag lap. And right there, pretty much, Kyle Barnes with nowhere to go but to the side of Christian Peterson loses all hope at victory here at New Hampshire. What a night of racing, folks. We're going to go live now to your light modified winner here tonight. Definitely sure he's going to have some words for us, as it was a difficult battle to stay up front. And Tanner, you got to be kind of happy coming away with the victory. Walk us through that white flag lap there as you were battling with Kyle Barnes.
Absolute nuts. I mean, it was cars flipping, and then I just got loose from 70 diving it down in there, and I just tried to save it, and unluckily he got tagged by me. I mean, whatever. He tried to come back on the track, and I just hooked him.
It was definitely a night to say the least. I believe as we take a look here at the summer results, 16 total cautions on the night, and you found yourself involved in a few of them. And you got to be still, keeping that bounty alive. Missed the first 4 races of this season. Come back with a vengeance. And it looks like your win streak's going to continue on here. I believe this is, 2, 3 in a row now that we find ourselves. What can we expect next week at Southern National out of you?
For one, you can expect not to see a Red Bull car because he just has his head up his ass. That's all I got to say about that. And I think it's going to be another good race between me and Kyle Barnes. He said he was going to run it. And I'm going to let him borrow some equipment so his low-budget team can race with us.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give tonight?
Yeah, once again, thanks for Red Bull for not sponsoring me because their drivers ain't that good. And thanks for you guys for putting this on.
All right. Well, best of luck to you next week. We're going to go live now to Tour Modified driver Seth the Merchant getting back-to-back weekends for both Bounty drivers. Seth, you found yourself out there tonight really working your way through this track. Got involved in a couple incidents, ended up with a total of 65 laps led out there. Tell us a little bit about your night here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I had a really, really good race going, actually. Was having a lot of fun with my teammate, Christian. We pitted a couple times there, took some gas, and was having fun driving up through the field and defend that bounty. And Christian ended up getting wrecked, and I worked my way back up through the field and just dealt with all the leaders on those restarts. Really tough because when you're on the bottom, especially, you can't get up off the corner good. The tires spin really bad, so that's what I was dealing with really bad there at the end of the race.
Well, going from a smaller track like Thompson, coming up to a bigger track like New Hampshire, and going back to a smaller track like Southern National, as far as your racing style, do you like these bigger tracks or do you enjoy racing on the smaller tracks?
I like the bigger ones because I'm not the best at braking in this game because my pedal's kind of broken. But so I feel like I do better at these bigger ones where you don't have to use as much brake.
And so the bounty will continue heading in. So what? With that being said, what can we expect next week when we head into Southern National? Can you expect a victory? You call it a victory, or what do we got going on here with that?
Probably a lot. I don't know. I don't think I've ever raced this car before at that track, so I don't really know what to expect. It's kind of like a old style Bristol type track. So probably something like that. Everyone's on the bottom, fighting for the bottom the whole race, and hopefully it's a good race.
All right. Well, is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory tonight?
Just got to thank Kyle for running the league.
All right. Well, best of luck to you next week. We look forward to seeing you. Congratulations tonight here on your victory.
Thank you.
Going to go live now. It looks like we're going to have a late interview here with the number 12 MaxFire.com Tour Modified driver. Wade Cheetah makes his way into the victory area here as we talked with Seth the Merchant. Wade, it was a hard-fought battle for you here tonight. You come in second after a total of 37 laps led. Really worked your way through this track, was trying to give it all she's got to be able to take down this 35 car, collect that bounty here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your experience here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, thanks, Dustin. I guess I'll start with New Hampshire's not my favorite track in the world. The flat tracks just don't seem to agree with me very well. But in practice, I got the feel for the car, found out where its weakness was, which was the right rear tire. So just really, really focused my efforts for the bulk of the race on protecting that right rear. And, it worked. I was gentle on it, and it got me to the front and kept me out there for periods of the race. The one time, ironically, got a little tangled up with Seth and sent to the back, but came back through the field and was in the right place at the right time. I 2 weeks in a row, I've gotten a sniff of that bounty, but I'll just keep doing everything I can to be there and put it in the bank one of these weeks.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish tonight?
Just a big shout to my teammates over at Krankenstein Racing. there's some guys on the team that do like this track and have helped me out with it. So that CRA Digital Forge, thanks.
All right, we look forward to seeing you next week taking on Southern National. Well, there you have it, folks. What a crazy night of racing. Again, 16 cautions. But take a look once again here at the race summary. 22 lead changes here at New Hampshire between the two divisions. That's insane. Definitely a hard-fought battle, and a lot of cautions resulting in those potential lead changes. Guys really fighting for position, and with the bounties wanting to be collected, you could definitely tell that the intensity tonight was definitely turned up a few notches. Results on your screen as we take a look here. Seth the Merchant, Wade Cheetah, Robbie Bunden, Kyle Leverall, and Brian Neff, your top 5. In the tours, Tanner Cook, Scott Naslin, Kyle Barnes, Davis Warren. It's your front 4. As you see, a little bit of mix-up here as both classes are shown in the results screen. A few of the other drivers out there: Adam Rigo, Rhett Tucker, Zach Mecca, Benny Ellison, Tom Hameka. Early night there for Clint Crowell. Tough break. First few laps brought out tonight's first caution. A little left turn collide into the inside wall there in the front stretch. And Jason Freeman, Cameron Hearn, Austin McCute not actually fielding here tonight with problems due to the engines in practice. Hopefully we'll see him next week at Southern National. Again, coming up Friday night, the Bump and Run Street Stock Series at the Loose Lugness TWCBM Leagues will be in session. 10 p.m. Eastern is the broadcast start time. Street Stock Series winding down to the end of that 10-race series. That looks like it's going to do it for all for us here tonight, folks. Check out Anki.com, Championship Racing Association's website, and our website, ForgeBroadcasting.com. But appreciate you tuning into the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you Friday night.